With that, joining us now, lawyer and Republican strategist Amanda Mackey, also president of the American Principles Project, Terry Schilling. Okay, so we got a lot of things firing on all cylinders now.
There's too many headlines that you just read out that for us to count.
Newsing.
You were really newsing then. So where do we want to start?
Yeah. I mean, Amanda, if all these are still stories, the fact that China just cut cables, underground or underwater internet cables to Taiwan, nobody's covering it.
They're not. It's just really crazy to think what's happening right now and the cover up that they're doing by deflecting, all focusing on Donald Trump. That's everything that they're focused on right now because they believe that for their base, that is the best thing that they can deliver. Not record inflation, not what's happening across our country right now, not with what just happened, the shootings and all these things that have been happening that they don't want to focus on. They want to focus on Trump. They want to focus on what's happening there with Trump. And that's really what we're going to be talking about for the coming months. And they know this because he's running for president, but I think this helps him run for president. I think this really helps him solidify the primary.
Yeah.
And also something else that was of very big concern there was President Putin moving nuclear weapons to the border with Ukraine. Terry, I can see you nodding along there. Tell us, what's your thoughts?
It seems that the world is starting to really escalate in terms of conflict, right? Everything's falling apart. The dollar, I think, is also a huge problem now. Brazil and China are abandoning it. And by the way, Xi Jinping was just meeting with Vladimir Putin, working out another deal, probably most likely to abandon the dollar as the world's reserve currency. This is not going to end well. We have trillions and trillions of dollars that we've been printing over the past few years. It's not good at all, and we should all be very concerned. And by the way, I don't think that they're just using this Trump indictment to distract us. I think that our system is so corrupted that they might actually indict and actually convict him and put him in jail. This is escalating very, very quickly, and if the world goes to this war and all this stuff, it's going to get bad.
So let me ask the theory, Amanda, which is like this comes on the back of a horrific shooting, which defies the narratives for the left on nearly everything. It happened. It was a church school that it happened to. It was a transgender identified person that conducted the shooting, and then all of a sudden, Alvin Bragg comes out, hey, we're adjourning for 30 days, and then all of a sudden, boom, there's an indictment.
Isn't that amazing? What really saddens me, and the New York Post wrote about this, is where's the invite, the White House invite for the two police officers who went in and risked their own lives?
Yeah.
They don't acknowledge that. They're focused on, as Miss Jean-Pierre was yesterday, focused on the trans. This is so sad for trans people and the depression they face. What about the shootings of innocent children that happen? And so this is a very sad time when you think about what's happening, and the fact that the White House, the president, is not even acknowledging the heroism of the police officers who went in and risked their own lives.
Yeah,
that is true and completely shocking.
Madonna, but let's not forget about Madonna now focusing her concerts and raising money for trans people, instead of saying, what happened was so sad that it happened at a Christian school, all these things. It's a really sad divide in our country right now.
Yeah, Terry, you said something before that was interesting. You're the only person who has said it this morning, and that's that you believe that he is going to be found guilty and put away. Now, if this does happen, how is this going to affect the political landscape in this country?
I think it'll get very rotten. And just to be clear, I don't think he's guilty of any crimes, right?
We understood that,
So basically, I think that what's going to happen is the uniparty will be official, right? And in reality, there is a uniparty versus everyone else. And there are people on the left and people on the right. And what will happen is the people that are challenging the uniparty and their power will be criminalized, and there will be a chilling effect This is meant to send a message to all of us that we need to sit down or shut up, because if we challenge the power of this system, of this uniparty, that we will be next. Donald Trump didn't, just to be clear, he didn't misspend campaign funds. They're arguing that he wrote a personal check through someone else and that it should have been reported and included as an in-kind contribution. This is the biggest joke of all time. Politicians everywhere are guilty of this, right? Like they write not of paying off people, but of buying things without reporting it for their campaign or whatever. Lots of people should be in jail if Donald Trump goes to jail.
Yeah, I mean,
Exactly.
Maxine Waters transferred millions of dollars from her campaign to her daughter.
And by the way, paying off people, hush money is not illegal. People need to understand that.
That is true too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hush money is not illegal.
But it is if your name rhymes with Donald Trump. It's that's actually, I think that's like some U.S. code somewhere in the fine print. But Amanda,
it's okay if you're John Edwards.
Exactly. So, but Amanda, in this scenario though, there's so much other news that is going. Like, I don't know if anybody knows, but silver's at like $25 an ounce. Last week it was 19. I mean, when there's the potential for America to lose our standing as the global currency, we won't be able to print money to pay our own debt anymore.
No, we won't. I'm glad that the Republicans at least have the House of Representatives right now, because at least there's some check and balance there, and there's some things that we can still stop this administration from doing. The reality, though, is that this is all about politics. This is all about what happens a year and a half from now. And everyone is focused on the Democrat side. They want to do everything to stop Donald Trump. And they know the news is bad. Everything out there is bad. But the only thing that fans their base more than anything else is Donald Trump. Yeah. And so that's why this is all the news. You're right. They were supposed to adjourn for 30 days. Boom. What happens? No, it's right smack in the middle of what tragedies that are happening in this country. And every day the news, the bad news, they want to talk about Donald Trump because it rallies their base.
But Terry, we got a little over a minute left, but we're also, Amanda mentions Congress. We're in the middle of a debt ceiling crisis. Like, if we don't, I think they said by like June or July, like we're gonna exhaust all the resources to go above the debt ceiling. We need to pass something. Republicans have rightfully said, I believe, hey, stop spending a bunch of money we don't have. And Joe Biden's like, no, shake the money tree even harder, tax more people, $4.7 trillion in new taxes. I think that's like bigger story than anything right now.
No. That's something that's been swept under the rug. The Joe Biden budget calls for $4.7 trillion in new taxes. Doing the math, there's 320 million Americans. That's $14,000 per person in this country. So, like my family, I have 6 kids, right? That's over $100,000. We might have 6 or 7 more. I don't know. My wife and I really love each other.
God bless you and your wife, man.
Yeah.
That's over $100,000 just for my family alone in new taxes, right? Why is no one talking about that? They want a collapse. They want to force this country into the ground and to reset everything, right? But they're telling us they want a great reset so that they can accumulate power and reset everything so that they're in charge and none of us have any control over anything.
Of course. Well, Amanda Maki, Terry, and your entire massive family, we appreciate you guys being here.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
And